Someone says something to you, right to your face, in front of other people. It wasn't a slap, it wasn't a shout, it was just words. But your chest got tight, your face got hot, your mind went completely blank. And the worst part? You said nothing. You smiled, you looked away. You told yourself it was fine, not a big deal, let it go. But it wasn't fine, and you know it, because you're still thinking about it, replaying it, rehearsing everything you wish you had said while you're standing in the shower at midnight, alone, angry at yourself for going quiet when you needed your voice the most. Here is the truth no one ever told you. You didn't freeze because you were weak. You didn't go quiet because you were scared. You went quiet because nobody ever taught you what to do in that moment, and that ends right now. Is because what you're about to learn is the exact skill set that most people spend their whole lives wishing they had. Not how to be aggressive, not how to win arguments, but how to stay so calm, so steady, so completely unshakable that rude people realize, instantly, that they chose the wrong person to test. Stay with me to the end, because by the time this is over, you will never freeze again. Before we get to the techniques, you need to understand something that changes everything. Rude people are not random. They don't just walk around being horrible to everyone equally. They pick, they scan the room, they look for a specific kind of person. And when they find that person, they test them. Think back. Have you ever noticed that the same person who snaps at you is somehow sweet to other people? They laugh with some people. They're friendly to others. But with you, something is different. Something always goes sideways. That is not an accident. That is a pattern. And patterns have reasons. What they're looking for is called a reaction window. It's that small moment after the comment lands where they watch your face, your body, your eyes. They're reading you. Because the goal was never really the words. The goal was your response. If you flinch, they learn. This person can be moved. If you smile and move on, they learn. This person won't push back. If you go red and stumble, they learn. This person is easy. And once they learn it, they file it away. And every time after that, they get a little bolder. This is what behavioral scientists call social probing. It's a test, a small one, done quietly, designed to map the edges of what you'll accept. And the tragic part is that most people pass this test in the wrong direction, not because they're weak, but because they never knew it was a test in the first place. Now you know. So, let's talk about what to do when it happens. Technique 1. The quiet mirror. They say something sharp, something designed to land and vanish, a quick sting, and then they move on before you've even had time to process it. Your instinct kicks in instantly. You want to explain yourself. You want to defend yourself. You want to fire something back. Don't. Instead, you do something completely unexpected. You pause. You let 2 full seconds sit in the air. Then you look at them, completely calm and still, and you say, "Can you say that again?" That's it. Nothing else. Watch what happens next. They have to repeat the comment, out loud, slowly, and in front of whoever else is listening. And something remarkable happens the second time around. It sounds different. Worse, it sounds exactly like what it is. An unnecessary, mean, deliberate thing to say to another human being. Their own voice betrays them. The smirk fades. The confidence drops. The energy in the room shifts. Because now everyone heard it twice, and now everyone is watching with a different kind of attention. This works because of how rude comments are designed. They're built to land fast and disappear fast. One quick hit and gone, before anyone can examine it closely. When you make them repeat it, you remove the escape. You trap the comment in the open where it has to survive on its own. And most rude comments cannot survive that kind of exposure. You didn't raise your voice. You didn't accuse anyone of anything. You simply asked a question, and the question did everything. Technique 2. The pattern name. This one is for a specific kind of rude, the kind that comes wrapped in a smile, the kind that wears the costume of a joke, the kind where, if you react, they say, "I was just playing." But everyone in the room felt the blade. You know exactly what this feels like. The comment lands, and your options appear to be laugh along or look like you can't take a joke. It's a trap, a perfectly designed one. Most people laugh along. They perform being okay with it. They absorb it quietly. And the other person walks away knowing exactly how to get to you next time. Here's what you do instead. You don't address the comment directly. You address the behavior behind it. You look at them calmly and say, "I've noticed you say things like that pretty often. Simple, quiet, completely clean. But here is what those 8 words just did. They reframed a single comment into a documented pattern. They signaled that you have been paying attention, that you have memory, that this isn't invisible to you. Nobody wants to be the person who always says things like that. Nobody wants their behavior observed and cataloged. The moment you name the pattern, the person has to reckon with who they are in this conversation, not just what they said once. And that is an entirely different kind of accountability. They can brush off a reaction. They cannot brush off recognition. Technique 3. The flip. Here's a piece of information that almost no one considers in the moment. Most rude behavior has nothing to do with you. Might this sound strange, so stay with me. When a person is carrying something heavy, stress, failure, embarrassment, fear from somewhere completely unrelated to you, it doesn't always come out directly. It leaks sideways, onto whoever is nearby, onto whoever seems safe to target, onto whoever they've already identified as someone who won't push back hard. You didn't cause it, but you became the destination for it. Knowing this doesn't mean you have to absorb it. It means you have a move available that most people never think to use. The next time someone comes at you with a dismissive comment, a cutting remark, a condescending tone, don't rise to the bait. Instead, look at them with genuine calm and say, "You seem stressed. Is everything all right?" Watch the whole dynamic shift in real time. You didn't fight back. You didn't crumble. You looked right past the weapon and asked about the hand that was holding it. And now they have to make a choice. They either have to admit that something is wrong, which drains the aggression out of the air entirely, or they have to keep being rude while you are visibly, publicly being a decent human being, and that second option makes them look terrible in front of everyone watching. There is no bad outcome here for you. Either the hostility dissolves, or it exposes itself in the harshest possible light. You hold the only winning card in the deck. Technique 4. The public light. Some rude people prefer an audience. They don't do their best work one-on-one. They need a crowd. They need witnesses. They need other people to watch the performance. Because the goal isn't just to make you feel small. The goal is to make everyone else watch you feel small. This is the most calculated type of rudeness, and also the most fragile, because it depends entirely on the audience cooperating. The joke only works if people laugh. The comment only lands if the crowd co-signs it. Take away that cooperation, and the whole structure collapses. So here's the move. You don't try to win the crowd over. You don't play to them. You look directly at the person, steady and unreadable, and you say, "That was an interesting choice to say out loud in front of everyone. Clean, precise, no heat in your voice. Look at what that sentence just accomplished. It drew attention, everyone's attention, not to what they said, but to the fact that they chose to say it here, like this, in public. It separated the comment from the crowd, and it made the audience aware that a choice was made, a deliberate, observable, questionable choice. Suddenly, the group isn't laughing with them. They're watching them, waiting, evaluating. You turn the spotlight around without touching it, and the performance is over. Technique 5. The still wall. This is the most difficult technique on this list, and easily the most devastating. Someone says something rude, and you say absolutely nothing. But here is the critical part that separates this from simply going quiet. You don't look away. You don't smile. You don't shift. You don't fidget. You look directly at them, completely still, completely calm, eyes level, and you hold it. Just hold it. Most people cannot survive 10 seconds of calm, direct silence after saying something disrespectful. The absence of a reaction sends their nervous system into a low-level panic, because silence means they don't know how to read you. Silence means they can't adjust their strategy. Silence means they're exposed with no feedback and no exit. So they fill it themselves. They start to over-explain, they laugh nervously, they look around the room, they say things like, "I was joking," or "You're so sensitive," or "Relax, it wasn't that serious." And in doing all of that, they've just done something remarkable. They have apologized without you asking. They have defended themselves without you accusing. They have handed you their emotional state while you spent none of yours. The Stoic philosophers understood this completely. They spent their entire lives teaching that the person who controls their response controls the room. Not the loudest person. Not the most aggressive person. The stillest person. Silence isn't empty. It is the loudest statement in the room when everyone else is performing for an audience. And some people, when they look into that kind of stillness, see something that genuinely unsettles them. They see someone who doesn't need to react to be dangerous. Technique 6. The clean exit. There are moments where all of the above has been tried. You've stayed calm. You've held your ground. You've given every signal that you will not be moved, and they keep going anyway. For those moments, there is a final move. Not aggressive, not emotional, not dramatic in any way. You look at them and say, "I'm not going to keep engaging with this conversation while it's happening this way." And then you mean it completely. You don't wait for their response. You don't explain yourself further. You don't apologize for saying it. You simply withdraw your attention, fully and without performance. This isn't giving up. This is not losing. This is the single most powerful thing a grounded person can do. Here is why. Rude behavior is an engine, and what keeps it running is your engagement. Every reaction you give, even a perfect, controlled, well-executed one, is fuel. It keeps the engine going. It tells the other person that there is still a game being played, and that they are still in it. The clean exit removes you from the game entirely, not with a door slam, not with a dramatic speech, with a quiet, unhurried withdrawal of your presence. And you cannot lose a game you have chosen, clearly and finally not to play. Here's what ties all of this together. These techniques are not really about rude people. They are about you. They are about the version of you that doesn't freeze anymore, the version of you that doesn't lie awake replaying moments you wish you had handled differently, the version of you that walks into any room, any conversation, any situation, and carries something inside that other people can feel without you ever having to say it. That quiet, unshakable sense of, I know how to handle whatever comes. Because here's the truth about rude behavior that most people never arrive at. It isn't powerful. It only looks powerful when it finds someone who doesn't have the tools to respond to it. Take the tools away, and rude behavior is just noise. Uncomfortable, unpleasant, unwanted noise from a person who has not yet learned how to manage their own emotions. You are not responsible for managing those emotions for them, but you are responsible for managing yours. And now, you have the exact framework to do it. Stay grounded, stay calm, stay in control of the only thing you have ever really controlled, the way you choose to respond. That is what people mean when they talk about real confidence. Not the kind that shouts, not the kind that has to prove itself, the kind that simply does not move, the kind that has nothing left to prove because its presence already says enough. You now have that. The question is whether you'll use it. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men who ever lived, wrote something in his private journal that he never expected anyone to read. He wrote that the things that happen to us do not define us. Only how we meet them does. Rude people are going to exist. Yet you cannot change that. What you can change, completely, permanently, starting today, is who you are when they show up. You are not the person who freezes anymore. You are the person who stays still when everything else moves. The person who speaks calmly when others expect panic. The person who, without raising their voice or losing their dignity, makes it unmistakably clear, I am not the one you want to test. So, here's my question for you. Which one of these moments have you lived through? Which technique do you wish you had in a conversation that still sits heavy in your memory? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Your answer might shape the very next video, because the more you share, the more precisely I can help.